Okay, today we have the 75mm f2 full frame lens by TT Artisan, and this is for the Sony E mount and the Nikon Z mount. I was very excited whenever TT Artisan reached out and asked if I would like to try this lens because they did make it in a Z mount, and I currently own the Nikon Z8. After shooting the Nikon ZF, I had to have those colors, and this is the camera that I landed on. And I do believe, before we even hop into this review, that this would look fantastic on the Nikon ZF because it does have the aperture ring and it does look a lot more retro than a lot of the lenses out there do that are currently on the market for the Nikon Z mount. Alright, so let's hop in. This is 328 grams, which is 0.7 pounds. It's a very, very light lens, which is really nice, especially if you like to travel and just not have something that weighs on you too much. This has 10 elements in 7 groups, and it also has a lens in here to knock down on chromatic aberration, which is great. Honestly, I'm not too big of a stickler on chromatic aberration because it is fixable in post, and it never really bothers me that much. I tried to get some on this and I couldn't. But some people just really get hung up on that for some reason. It does have an integrated USB-C on the back cap, which is very easy to use, but I will say it does not attach very well. So right now I'm actually using a Nikon back cap because it does fit a lot better. So I would take the one with the USB-C and put it in a box somewhere and only use it when you actually need to. It is an all metal construction, and the aperture ring is great, and as always I have to give you some ASMR to see what it sounds like. And just having a clicked aperture ring is great. It also goes to automatic. If you want to use your aperture dial on the camera, you can do that. The f2 aperture on this is great. It really separates your subject from the background, and that's what a lot of people like to do with these types of lenses. And honestly, shooting at f4 at a 75mm, you are going to get great compression, obviously at 75, but you are actually still going to get some really nice bokeh, blurry background, and your image is going to be a lot sharper. This is a very sharp lens, wide open at f2. The autofocus is very good for how much it costs, less than $200, and yeah, it's impressive what they can do for less than $200. This also has eye detection alongside vehicle and animal detection as well. It's pretty much whatever your camera can do, this can handle that. It is a little bit slow to autofocus whenever you're using continuous and your subject's moving close to you. This tends to be a trend with telephoto lenses. I would not be using this to capture things that are moving towards me very quickly. I'm not a sports photographer, and this isn't a sports photography lens in my opinion. Maybe if you were shooting track or something where people were going parallel to the lens, it would probably hold on pretty tight. But if something's coming fast at you or erratic, this would not be the lens that you would want. But as far as portraiture goes, this is a great option. As you can see through these photos that I'm showing you, it's tack sharp. As long as your subject is not moving too fast and is still, you're in a controlled environment for the most part, which I am as a portrait photographer doing weddings, any type of documentary work and portraits. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram if you want to catch up on more of what I'm doing with my photos. I can tell you what lenses I'm using in all of them. That's kind of where all of my new work goes out. If you are interested in my photography, thank you so much for hopping over and giving me a follow. It has an STM stepping motor, so it is quick to focus for video as well, which is great because I actually use this for video just for fun, to play around to see how good it works, and it does work pretty well. It's not a super loud lens either because it does have that STM motor, which is really nice if you're using a Rode mic. Most people are using wireless mics now because they're becoming less and less expensive as time goes on. So it's not really something you have to worry about, especially if you're shooting something on a larger production of any sort. But I'm not sure if you would be using this lens on a larger production. Speed test autofocus right here. It works really great going left and right, and kind of like smaller adjustments like this, which is what I typically would use it for. But for extreme cases. I'm gonna step back about 10 feet and then walk forward, and you'll see at the very end, it will click right into place. It just takes it a second. So now I'm focused, and then as I come up here, you'll see it just takes a moment to get there. But once it's there, it works really well. So as far as video goes, this is the autofocus that you can look forward to having on this lens. The actual speed of the autofocus on photography is super fast compared to this. But yeah, anyways, here we go. Really, the drawbacks of this lens was that it doesn't focus as fast as a ton of lenses, but also it is a telephoto lens and it is using the STM motor, so that's kind of what you expect. And the continuous focusing whenever something's moving towards you quickly, it's not the best either. And the lens mount back cap that you put on there is not the best. Honestly, those are the three things that are not great about this lens. Everything else, as far as the sharpness and honestly the autofocus in controlled environments, is great. The image quality is nice, the bokeh looks good, you don't have too many crazy elements in the back with the bokeh. It's all controlled pretty well, considering this lens is less than $200. I just want to keep bringing that back because I just don't know how they're doing it, and we're getting to this point where we're starting to meet like professional grade imagery through these lenses that are so inexpensive. I'm not saying they've done it, and I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it is getting to the point to where you're like, what's the point of having a professional grade lens? Well, really it's reliability more than anything, and the image quality more than anything. In a couple of years, they could easily be doing the same thing. Their lenses are gonna cost more because there is a lot more engineering that goes into that, and a lot more QC, quality control, that goes into it as well. And yeah, they're not there yet. Eventually, I believe they will make lenses that are on par with like Viltrox, which is doing really great things with their pro lenses right now, and potentially Sigma one day. But Sigma to me is like the highest of the high third-party lenses. This would be more like a fourth-party lens almost at this point, but it is really great, especially if you don't want to pay a lot of money and you want to dip your toes into telephoto lenses and you want some really great compression. This would be excellent for you. I've actually quit using my 85mm Sigma to test this one, and honestly it's been so great that I haven't had to use my 85mm, although it is more responsive, but it is over $1,000 versus, you know, under $200. And it is nice because this is proprietary as far as the mount goes, so I don't have to adapt to my Nikon Z8, which I'm shooting on right now. I love what these newer lens manufacturers are doing. TT Artisan's made manual focus lenses forever, and now they're hopping into the autofocus lens, and it's great that they made the barrier to entry a lot smaller. So if you are somebody that doesn't have a ton of money to spend on gear and you want to get into it, this is an option. And I'm sure as time goes on, they're going to create more of these, and it's going to allow a whole new group of people to come in and experiment with photography. And I think that is wonderful, because when I was starting out, it took me forever to save up money to get a lens because I wasn't getting paid. I was just trying to figure my life out, and I think this is just so nice for those people that need this. And not everybody makes a ton of money, and not everybody are professionals, and they just want something simple, easy, sharp, and reliable. And this is definitely that. It's not the best lens in the world, but it is nice that this exists. Anyway, I just want to share my thoughts on this lens and give you a little lens review. I enjoyed my time with this, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, peace.